First Watch Now.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler. First Watch on 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and Sheriff Mark Daniels. Good morning.
Good morning, Cochise County.
Hello, everyone.
So let's start with a dignitary that visited Cochise County this week.
Yes, we had the honor to have Governor DeSantis, Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor, and I've been talking to his team for the last couple months because what's going on the border is an impact to them. They're a coastal border, obviously, so they have challenges themselves. So their team has been working with sheriffs and myself for the last about 2 months, talking about different innovative programs. We talked about it at the community meeting. The governor spoke on that, but he wanted to come out and see it on our end, too, the perspective. We're going to continue these operations with Florida when it comes to sharing intel, sharing operations, because what happens on our border doesn't stay here. It goes to other parts of the country. So it's good that sheriffs, and that's why there were so many sheriffs from Georgia, Idaho, all over the place came here to address this because we've been working with them so closely. So it was a nice visit. And let me just say this. I know on social media, Carol, you can hit on this too, is, as a campaign, I got it. He's running for president. We don't endorse. The sheriff's office not endorse him as the president. But he came here as a governor. I welcome all the governors from the United States to come see us. We'll open the door for every one of them. Come see us. Come see what we're dealing with. I'm pretty proud of what's going on here when it comes to our innovation, our programs, our enforcement efforts, and our collective efforts. So, yeah, come see us. We'll showcase that all day because I think we're doing the right thing. And that's what the governor said, too. When we were leaving, he made a comment to me going back to the airport. He goes, I'm really impressed with your staff and what I see here, sheriffs. That's what we want to say. That's a positive for Cochise County. If you want to politicize it, or if the governor came down, granted, there's going to be some politics. I get it. I'm not blind to that. But the bottom line is he flew a state plane here, did as a governor, and then when he left here, he actually took a charter plane out of Sierra Vista Airport because he was going to a political event, a fundraiser of some sort. So we clarified that, didn't we, Carol?
Multiple times. Yes.
Are you here as a candidate or are you here as the governor? He was here as the governor. So, and we appreciate the community members that all came. A little different format. Obviously, the governor, this is what he wanted, and they wanted secrecy through. Don't think we were not being transparent, but we have a guest like that we're going to honor his wishes, and we did.
And one of the things I think that we really need to hit on is Cochise College. They are always a phenomenal partner with the Sheriff's Office and other community outlets here. And President J.D. Rottweiler was just phenomenal trying to get this thing done. Crystal, his number 2, man, she is just like fire on high heels. And there's Amber and Serena and Chris for their food services and all of his staff. That guy can just... I'm telling you, it's one of those cooking shows. You give him a piece of kale and he can make a 5-course meal. All of his staff, and he did it really, really quickly. Security was there. Their IT people were there. It's just their public information group was there. Sharina, and then her assistant. I'm telling you, all of these people coming together at the 11th hour and did not even bat an eye. And it's not just this event. They do it every single time. And, sometimes people complain like, oh, it's not my job or this is taking time out of my day. Never once did they even give that indication. So thank you so much to all of those people.
And Carol, I'm going to add you that list, too, and our team that put this together. It's a lot of work. This was, we got notified a little over a week ago that he was going to come. We were asked to keep it confidential, which just like when Speaker McCarthy came down, we had to keep that confidential. Mike Pence, all these visitors we get, and there's a boatload of them that over the years have come here. But it's a lot of work because they're handlers, and that's why I call them. They're handlers. They want things certain ways. Well, we also want our community to be treated certain ways. So that's a lot of navigation diplomacy. It really is. So thank you, Carol. Thanks, JD and all his team. I 100% echo what you're saying there, Carol. They did a fabulous job of putting this together. For those that were there, saw the room. It looked really professional, and that's nice. But that didn't come with a 5-minute conversation. That came with some headaches, some debates, as
yes,
you know.
Debates are good.
It's... I'll just say we had some sheriffs. We had the vice president from National Sheriffs with us for this meeting, and they didn't want to put him on the front table. And I know that was a discussion that ended with you, Carol, and well, actually ended with me because I said, just sit by me. You're going to sit by me. So you just have to take some leadership stance and just say, no, it's going to happen. So again, it overall turned out very well. I think the governor walked away with some education about the history of our border, to include what we're doing and to include what we need to do. Does that match all what Florida's doing? We're two different states, obviously, and we had our own governor here that we shared the same message with. So somebody's saying, well, why didn't you tell our governor? Our governor's here 3 weeks ago, and we shared that message with the community too. So we have an open door. Come see us. If you're an elected official, we open that door for you. It amazes me when elected officials, state, local, and federal, will criticize, but have you been here? Have you really been here? Or any border? I mean, we're not the see-all border. We're a part of it, but come see the border. Come see your sheriffs. Come see your mayors, and they'll tell you what's going on. If they don't, I mean, there's something wrong. 'Cause most mayors and sheriffs know exactly what's going on in their border. But again, I thank Governor DeSantis and his team for coming out here. And we didn't hit on this either, but the Florida Attorney General, I heard a lot of positive comments about her approach, about her innovation. So thank her too for coming out here and spending some time and sharing what they're doing in Florida to keep that. And this is all about public safety. When it comes to other stuff, it's not my lane. My lane's public safety. So it was good, and I'm glad that both of them came down here and took the time out of their busy schedules to do that. I wish more elected officials, like I said, would do that.
And one of the things that we were also working towards sharing information and gathering information with, specifically with the jail district that just came and passed, is Grady and our group was at JailCon this week. So you're up.
JailCon was so fun. It's what it is it's basically a big convention about jail, new innovations, yes, new technology, new ways to deal with inmates, new laws. It was all the way from PR to HR. I mean, everything in between. And it was neat to see all of our guys out there with the jail that got to go to this. The keynote speaker was the leader of SEAL Team 6, who was in charge of the Osama bin Laden mission. He was in the helicopter that crashed as well, so he got to tell us that story, and then talked about leadership and different ways of leadership, and I'm going to share that with you guys in the department as like a debrief. That's going to be cool. Also, Sheriff Mark Lamb, we all know that his Facebook page is on fire at the moment. He's the third biggest law enforcement in the country, by the way, the FBI, and then New York, and then him.
Wow, I didn't know
so
that.
He does well, but his public information officers were there giving a talk. And we got some ideas from him as well, so that's going to be pretty interesting. And then, of course, there was a lot of leadership classes that I got to attend and because that's what this is all about, is leaders in the jail, leaders in the community, and that's why Sheriff likes to send us to JailCon. But to all the guys that went to that, it was an amazing time.
JailCon, I've been there before, and I'll tell you, I think we used to try to send 8, 9. Our staffing is low right now. We're fighting some staffing shortages in the jail. But I tell you, I've been there as ASA president. The ASA president always addresses the welcome, and then obviously during the awards. So I would have been there for the awards, but we had Governor DeSantis the same day here. So I'm glad it turned out well on that, Grady, because JailCon it keeps our training fresh, it keeps our leadership fresh, and you learn a new innovation. That's what's really cool about JailCon. But I'm glad you enjoyed that.
And so you also had an event on Saturday when you were out in the park and gave that presentation. And I saw all of the photos that were on Facebook. Thanks, Grady, for doing that. And it just looked like a really good turnout.
It was a very nice event. General Hale and his wife Stacy, Mayor Call, and his wife Ramona, and NAACP and the Buffalo Soldier Association, just nice event. The community came out. It was really, really nice. And our shout out to our honor guard, our community outreach team, Sergeant McNeely and Deputy Dan Brennan, Danny Martinez and his team. They posted the colors on behalf of the event. But it was, and I spoke on the history of our uniform patch, Cochise. Who was Cochise? What did he stand for? Why did we wear them with pride on our uniforms? And then where did our uniform develop? Which was like just quick. It was like 1952, 53, was the first time we put a patch on a CCSO uniform. And the first patch was a round patch. It was not the arrowhead. And then toward the end of the 50s, 59, 60s, when we actually went to the arrowhead. And we've been like this ever since. And Sheriff Deaver was the last one to modify it in the early mid-1900s, 1995, I think it was, 96 is when he changed it up, and we've had it ever since. and I have no intent of changing it. I think it looks good the way it sits.
And he's the one that took off the saguaro because it made sense.
Well, yeah, because saguaro is not a native cactus of Cochise County. So he had that removed, and that's pretty much the only thing he did. But when he allowed the men and women at the sheriff's office, and I remember the process when he was sheriff, to change the uniform. He changed the badge. Sheriff Deaver did, to the Marshall Old West-looking badge. And then he also, I remember I was a commander then, asked him about changing the uniform, which he allowed and empowered the team to do. That's why we went to green and tan. And just a little history on that. Green and tan are actually the Western States sheriff's colors. That's why you see so many sheriffs wearing green and tan. The other ones I can't speak for. I don't know why they're out of character. But no, I love our patch. I think it's unique. We have 2 patches because both patches look forward, so you have to have 2 patches per uniform. So I just think it's an awesome patch. And so it was a very nice reception there, talking about it. They do this once a year. They bring in somebody, professional historians, not a sheriff, but I got the opportunity to come in and speak about their history. And so I just think it was a nice event. So thank you for them for putting this on.
And another event that you're going to do is coming up tomorrow. You're going to be in a fashion show. Tell us about that.
A fashion show, and that doesn't mean I'm fashionable. Let me just say that. It's the mall does it every year for Father's Day. Dillard's is a big partner in this, where they have a fashion show, and so I will be doing that at 1 o'clock tomorrow. So if you're bored, I mean, you have nothing going on in your life, nothing at all. I mean, just you're sitting by to fall asleep and go, what can I do? Come to the mall at 1 o'clock, and I'll be sporting some kind of clothing. I don't know, I got to go with my clothing today. So it's just going to be a fun event. Again, it just brings the fathers together and the families together, and just a community event that they've asked me to participate in.
And there's also a summer reading program. And tell us a little bit about what's going on with that.
Well, this is a great program. I saw Jackie Clay just sent this out, our county school superintendent. Jackie, you do amazing work, and all our school and educators. But it's the opportunity for us to read to kids. And any time that an adult can read to kids, inspire them, become a mentor, it's positive. We got some information on our Facebook page. Go look at that. I just think it's great. Carol, I know we do that throughout the year for different schools where members of the sheriff's office, myself, you, will go read to kids. I try to get the 3rd graders. It's great because if you slip up, they don't know. Just kidding. But the older they get, the harder they are to read to, of course.
And trying to encourage that, because it's so difficult in today's society where you have technology at your fingertips literally all of the time. I think that you need to maybe cut that back a little bit and get a good old-fashioned hardback book or anything that's paper, that you can read. Kindle, I'm a huge fan of. I go through a million books, but just it loses something in the translation sometimes if you don't have it in front of you to read. So it's great and gives kids an idea of what they could be doing or should be doing with some of their time.
Reading is knowledge. Reading is power. It's just so impressive, and that's kind of going away. I think that's what's cool about reading, especially when you read books, because everything's so social media driven. And it's kind of sad, but real. It truly is. And so, yeah, an old-fashioned book. My wife's a big reader. She can read books so fast. And it's like anything. The more you read, the more you get better at it. So, yeah, so we're going to be doing that. Look at our Facebook page if you want to help us out there.
And keep it on the schools. We've got a safety grant of $1.5 million.
We did. We just got this finally approved. Jackie Clay and all the school superintendents and the sheriff's office, we worked very close on this one to get this passed. And what this does, Alice Training, everybody's heard of Alice. Alice is our school initiative between the partnership between schools and law enforcement here in Cochise County, that if we have an active situation at a school or even a public business, that when we respond, we have a collective response. And you've all seen how law enforcement needs to respond, but we have training on that. And so we've educated our teachers and our students. The $1.5 million we just got is the automated virtual side of this. So it allows us to respond and makes all the information that we have in the school, to include possibly location of the shooter or the aggressive act. We know exactly where he'll be. They'll tell us. We have layouts of the school. We have all that data right in front of us on our computers in the car. So we become unified commands as we approach. And it's so impressive to see this. Again, thanks to the state of Arizona, Governor Ducey last year, and the legislative folks for allowing us to do this. And so we just got that money secured. We had it set last year, but we finally got them to adopt the money and send it to us. So again, just another way that the community leaders, Jackie Clay and the school superintendents, my office, are working in law enforcement to keep our kiddos safe.
And congratulations to our very own Deputy Bobby Zavala out of Naco School Resource Officer, and he got recognized as one of 2 School Resource Officers of the Year.
Yes, he does just an amazing job with those kids. He's the SRO for Bisbee High School. He's also the SRO for Naco School, and they love him. And I've toured those schools, went down there for lunch, and let me say, those kids really have a relationship with him, and it's beyond Bobby too. And Bobby has done the work. Bobby has earned the respect, but that is earned for law enforcement as a whole. So when they see a law enforcement, we're not the scary people in uniform or costume. We're actually law enforcement that's there for the people. And I tell you, Bobby, congratulations. Thanks for all you do. And just a little insight. Bobby's a retired first sergeant from the military. He's sharp. He knows how to treat people, and he's done a very good job. I just met with him and had a solo with him the other day, thanking him.
Let's give a update for our new building.
Our building, we were supposed to sign last Monday to acquire the new building, which is on Soldier Creek. So we can start moving that process. I mean, it's an escrow. There was a hiccup in it over the common area and on the electrical boxes. They had to figure out, this is legal. This is the legal stuff. But we have a 30-day extension, which means within this next 30 days we will close on the building. It's disappointing because we wanted to be in there here next week. We want to be moving and get this operation up and going. So we have a small delay. So it's still in progress. We're just waiting for those small technicalities to get worked out, and then we're there. It's where the flags are between the 2 buildings. It's like, who owns the flagpoles? We both do. So I can make that decision, but legal, you know how that goes. So again, we'll be in there very soon.
And an update on our helicopter.
We're in progress. We were hoping to have that into May. Now we're going to push that into the end of June, maybe even July. The problem is we're having a big delay in getting our cars. We have a lot of cars on order. No fault to our fleet. It's just the fact is the supply, getting vehicles in, that's a nationwide issue for law enforcement. So we're waiting for cars. The helicopter's the same boat, trying to get the equipment for the patrol cars, you name it. So it's really delaying us, but I tell you, it's disciplining our patience very well, because if we're ready to go, we can use that helicopter now, but we know we have to wait. I mean, these pursuits that we're still addressing when it comes to smuggling, I mean, in fact, I heard one this morning when I was coming into the office. They had one coming up south from Sierra Vista, and getting units trying to help with that. But again, it's that helicopter will relieve a lot of that pressure.
And one of the other things that we're doing for updates to our organization is they're painting our building in Bisbee finally.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. The facilities at the county for painting our building. They just painted Melody Lane, the board office. It looks really nice.
And they did Sierra Vista?
Sierra Vista, and I have not seen Sierra Vista, but they did Sierra Vista. They did Wilcox. That's where they're at right now. And then they're going to do the sheriff's admin building. I mean, it's almost like strengthening the building because we finally get paint on it.
Right.
It's been so long. You know what I'm talking about there. They primed it, or they actually restuckled the front, so it's been primer gray looking for 6 months maybe.
Yeah.
So we're really excited at that. So I keep people away from our building. When DeSantis came, the reason we didn't do it at the sheriff's office in Bisbee, it's embarrassing because it's so ugly right now. But we're excited to see a fresh coat of paint on that because that's professionalism. So thank you to Henry and his team over there to get that to happen. Henry's the director of Public Works.
Well, let's talk about the car crashes. There's been an abundance of car crashes lately.
Yeah, there has been. And this goes back to how we drive. And I'm not here to put blame on anybody, and please don't take that wrong, but we have to be vigilant when we drive. We had some bad crashes here within the last week and a half. We've had fatalities as a result. We're a small community. We lose a community member or a citizen or even a guest. That's an impact to the public safety responders, but it's also an impact to their families, of course. So be careful out there. That's all I can say. And I was coming to work this morning, and I want to put this safety reminder out there too. If you're on a bicycle, if you're on a golf cart, or whatever you're on, stop signs are for all people. You don't get a waiver because your vehicle doesn't go 55 miles an hour. I watched a golf cart fly right through a stop sign this morning. That's illegal. You have to stop. And I get complacency at 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. But the reality is you have to stop for those. And I stopped a bicycle not long ago, and he argued with me. Well, I'm on a bike. The law applies to you if you're on a public roadway, just like when you cross a roadway as a pedestrian. We're all responsible, whether you're driving a car, walking, or on a bicycle, or even a golf cart. So please be safe on that. And I also want to give one more shout out. Our National Guard. We've had 30 32, I think it is, Carol.
Actually, we did like a general dive into it yesterday, and I think we're at 48 just for the sheriff's office.
So 48 National Guard folks have been here for the last couple of years, truly being a support and a friend to the Cochise County Sheriff's Office and Cochise County for the citizens. The governor, I requested the governor keep them here to continue our mission here on the border. She has chosen to pull all the National Guard from the border, her choice. So they're leaving end of the month. So June 30th, we lose all our National Guard. But I want to give a big shout out to all of them and say thank you to our National Guard. Thank you for your service to this state, this country, and thank you to the service to us. And we're going to miss you. We're going to have a little recognition, celebration for them here in about a week and a half before they go, just to thank them. And I was talking to the general from Arizona here last week, and I told him, I said, we had heartfelt talk about everything that's happened, but I made a comment. I said, well, so I'm going to recognize them. He goes, oh, Sheriff, that'd be great. And I said, I'm probably going to promote them too. You just have to demote them when they get back to their office. And I'm kidding about that. I don't have that authority. But seriously, I just want to hug them all for what they've done for us. They become true friends of the sheriff.
They have. And, we also got notification that there's a recruitment fair going on at Papago July 5th and 6th. And one of the things that they notified us of is they would really appreciate someone from our organization being up there, because out of the groups that they've talked to so far, they have about 42, 43 people who want to come to work for the sheriff's office.
That's incredible. I mean,
yeah. And so we're ready.
And, I want to hit on that is we just did a hiring. We're doing the hiring right now. We're fully staffed. For patrol. For patrol. Detention, we just hired 6. I hired one of our alumni. Jay Jones is coming back. Jay, you're getting a shout out here on the radio. Gave her a shout out yesterday, and she's coming back part-time for us because we need the help in our jail. We truly do. That's a recruiting thought. Come see us. But we're fully staffed in patrol. In fact, we're overstaffed right now. We're working on how to get those bodies so we don't lose them. So it goes back to this is a shout out for all the men and women that work here, because they go out and they sell this office every day in our mission. Thank you for what they do. And for what they do in all aspects of it, whether it be support, whether it be in detention, volunteers, or sworn. So thank you, folks. And thanks for the community for allowing us to do the mission we do.
And let's go ahead and wrap things up with jail is hiring right now, starting at $40,000 a year and 18 years old. So if you're planning to be in law enforcement, this is a great way to kick off your career.
It truly is. And actually, we're in budget time right now. We're waiting to see what the final budget. That's obviously we're hoping to do some market adjustments with our starting salary, both patrol or sworn and also in our detention, because people are like, and we've done better. You talk to more sheriffs around the state when it comes to jails, they are hurting bad. We're staying above the fray, but we're hurting bad too when it comes to our detention. So we got to bump those salaries to keep competitive. One thing about law enforcement, everybody is trying to be competitive, trying to find that one person. That talent is tough to do right now.
And go find out more online at cochise.az.gov and look for job opportunities and click on detention officer and see if it's a fit for you.
Yep.
Well, Sheriff Mark Daniels, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you, Gray. Thank you, Carol. I know it's been a busy week. Thank to both of you guys for all you do, too. Thank you, everyone.
And, Carol, who do we have coming in next?
We have a whole bunch of people here, so we're just going to pick one. The NAACP is here, and they're here as a result of after Saturday. They asked if they could come on and just share some of the information they have, and we thought it was a great idea.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler, and with me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Well, let's first introduce yourselves.
Well, my name is Aline McFalls, better known as Queen A.
And who are you with today?
The SVAACC, that stands for the Sierra Vista African American Community Coalition.
And you're?
My name is Kenneth Anderson, or Kenny. I'm with the NAACP Greater Huachuca Area Branch.
Well, first let's start off with what you guys do with your organizations. Tell us a little bit about the SVACC.
So what I do is just work with the black community, with the organizations, the businesses, and just the community, to bring them together to learn how to work with each other and bring these type of events together, and just really let people know that there is a Black community here in Sierra Vista.
And what does the NAACP do in our community?
Well, we connect, the community together. And right now, currently, and I guess let me tell you what I do specifically. I'm the public relations communication co-chair with my other co-chair, Tim Ash. And right now, currently, we are doing a lot to connect the community to us via social media and other outreaches and celebrations and events to really kind of just bring resources to the community, not only to the African American community, but just anyone in the community who could use resources and help in building to get to a better position for themselves.
And last week, Sheriff Mark Daniels was the public speaker at your event that you raised the flag for Juneteenth, and he talked about the patch of the sheriff's office, which I thought was really cool. And then I told him we need to get that out on the internet too, because I liked his talk. So that was a neat event. But Juneteenth is coming up. First of all, tell everybody exactly what Juneteenth is and what it means.
Yes, yeah. So Juneteenth is in the day that we celebrate for the end of slavery. So a little backstory: in 1865, in Galveston, Texas, was the last place that had slaves, and General Granger had made the announcement that was the end of the Civil War and the end of slavery, which, however, was 2 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. But they had gotten the word that day on June 19th in Galveston, Texas. So June 19th now is the day that we celebrate the official end of slavery.
So what will you be doing on Juneteenth?
Well, we have a lot that's coming up. So we have a balloon release to the ancestors, and this is a cultural thing that we always ask the ancestors, for permission, and we always acknowledge them. So that's what's different this year. Then we also have Battle of the Drums. We have the basketball tournament, and it starts at 11. The football toss. We have a hula hoop competition, double Dutch competition. We have Nigerian food and all types of vendors. I also have a celebration of life for my so-called uncle / brother, because I was adopted. So people, they look at me like, what? So he was very well known in Tucson. He owned, he started the foundation up there, the Tucson Musicians Museum. And they did a great, celebration for him up there in Tucson. There's like 12 bands that came. And there were young people because he thought that it was something that he wanted to do to keep the blues alive. And so what the museum does for the children is those who want to be musicians, they don't have money or whatever, they would donate to them. They could come there and, get funding or whatever so they could make their dreams come true. Yeah.
That sounds neat. And where's the Juneteenth celebration going to be?
It's going to be at the Rothery Education Center, and it's 3305 East Fry Boulevard, Sierra Vista, Arizona. We also have the Buffalo Soldiers are going to be doing a legacy award for Lenice Moore. She's just, wonderful person. She started the WAX organization here in Sierra Vista. So we want to recognize her. We have the American Red Cross coming for a blood drive. It's really a big event this year that I'm excited about.
Sounds like it's going to be fun.
We also have George Howard's band. That was my brother / uncle. And the new name for the band now is Tune Smith. So we're excited to have them come down and just, do a little celebration and a tribute to George Howard.
All right. Well, let's get some contact information for your organizations. Let's start with the NAACP. How can we contact your organization?
Yeah, so the NAACP, like I had mentioned, we're now doing a lot more when it comes to the social media realm. So you can find us on Facebook. If you just kind of type in that search bar, the NAACP Greater Huachuca Branch. That's on Facebook and also Instagram. Also, you can go to the website in NAACPGHB.org. That's NAACP Greater Huachuca Branch, GHB.org.
And how can we get a hold of the SVACC?
520-678-0413. And they'll be talking to me, Queen A.
All right. Well, we appreciate you guys coming and talking to us today and telling us all about Juneteenth and the celebration that's coming up. We really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you.
Thank you.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. And we have our next guest in the studio. It's Krista with the organization called A Tree for Christmas. Good morning.
Good morning.
So tell us a little bit about what is A Tree for Christmas. What do you guys do?
So it's an organization, and what we do is we collect Christmas trees and Christmas ornaments so we can help out families around Christmas time that can't necessarily afford any of that stuff.
So basically, you're here in the middle of the summer to
Yes.
talk about Christmas stuff.
I am.
I love
it's like
it.
Christmas in June.
So, and one of the ways you're raising money is you do that all year long,
Yeah.
obviously, but there's something tomorrow.
Yes, I am having a golf tournament. This is going to be our second one, but third annual. I know it's kind of weird just because of the COVID and everything, but yeah, we did this before. It was a great turnout. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of people. And we did raise about $4,000, so it did help us out, be able to get more Christmas trees and ornaments, and yeah.
And so, can we still register for this golf
Oh,
tournament?
absolutely.
How do we do that?
So you can contact me. I also work over at Wicked Limits, so if anybody wants to come in and talk to me, they can. Or you can get a hold of us on Facebook. It's A Tree for Christmas. And that's really it. I do have a form to fill out, but I would have to send it to you.
And where is Wicked Limits located?
It's on the corner of 7th and Fry, so 801 East Fry Boulevard.
Okay, so you could go there and talk to you.
Yes.
And then are you looking for like team scrambles? Or are you looking for individuals? What do you need?
I can take individuals. It is a scramble, so 4-person team, but I do have individuals show up the day of.
Okay.
So we can always put together a team.
All right, so remind us of how to get a hold of you one more time.
So I work over at Wicked Limits, 801 East Fry Boulevard, right on the corner of 7th and Fry. You can contact me through Facebook, A Tree for Christmas. And I also have an email, but it's atreeforchristmas@outlook.com.
Okay. So if people can't get to the golf tournament but want to help out your organization, how can they do that?
They can contact me the same exact way. I do take donations. I take monetary donations. You can drop off Christmas trees. I do take used stuff. I mean, as long as it's in good condition, we'd like to give that to the community as well.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
Krista, we thank you for coming and
Thank
talking to us today
you.
about your golf tournament.
Thanks.
That's A Tree for Christmas. Also in the studio from the Sierra Vista Police Department, we've got Mr. Borgstadt to talk about an event that's also happening tomorrow.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So yeah, our event is the ICE event. It's called In Case of Emergencies, and it's designed for senior citizens. This is in conjunction with the Sierra Vista Police Department and the Citizens Police Academy Associates. But what we do is we put information on a thumb drive for folks. We also provide hard copies that include, obviously the, name, address and all that type of stuff, demographic type stuff. But it also includes like a list of medications, people that we can contact in case of emergency if something happens, and it just helps law enforcement and first responders get aid to that person a lot quicker if we have access to that information. The cool thing about it is the way the computers are set up. Once we put everything on the thumb drive and then provide the hard copies, we hit delete and we don't keep any of the information, not one speck of it. Everything goes to the individual that they keep at their house.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is, and it's kind of a combination. We also do the CHIP event, child identification. It's kind of like that, but this specifically is designed for senior citizens. It's going to be at the Ethelberger Center tomorrow, Saturday, from 9 a.m. till noon. come on in, and it takes probably about 15 minutes to run through the process, depending on the wait time. But it's real quick and easy, painless, and it gives information to folks for law enforcement and the fire department in case we need that to access that information.
Kind of give us a scenario where this information would be used. Is it something like an elderly loved one wandered off into the desert and is missing, or what?
That could be one of those things. Yes, absolutely. Because the information also has photographs of that individual, height, weight. Microphone keeps sliding, but that type of information. Yeah, it could be very, very useful. Unfortunately, oftentimes law enforcement, fire department has to respond. We've seen this a lot, and lately it's happened a lot. Where we haven't seen the neighbor in 2 or 3 days, and mail's starting to stack up and stuff like that. And we go inside, we find this person maybe has fallen or something like that, not conscious, and we're trying to contact family members, to let them know. Medication is very, very important to know, so they know how to treat that person once they get to the hospital or on scene. So that's kind of the scenarios that we use them for.
All right. Well, give us invite us to that event one more time tomorrow.
Sure. It's tomorrow, Saturday, at the Ethelberger Center. That's 2950 East Tacoma Street in Sierra Vista, kind of behind City Hall and the library, and it's going to be from 9 till noon.
Well, Corporal Borgstadt, we thank you for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you.
Coming in next, we got the Salvation Army. They have a countywide food drive going on. It's First Watch on KWCD Country, and it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
It's First Watch Now.
Hosted by Public Information Officer Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
On 92.3 KWCD.
And it's brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative, giving you an inside look into your sheriff's office. I'm Grady Butler. With me is Carol Kappas, Public Information Officer with the Sheriff's Office, and our next guest.
Welcome back, Cochise County, and thank you so much for coming back again, Captain Heather from Salvation Army.
Thank you so much for having me.
So we're going to talk about the food drive. It's countywide food drive. I know that we've hit on it a little bit last time, and then we put some stuff on our Facebook page. That's the official challenge that we put out there. Talk about people, man. CCOM's already trash talking, saying they're going to win this thing, so we'll see how that goes. So we're hoping Cochise County Sheriff's Office actually takes the prize, and it will be a win-win. We need to make sure that people understand all of this stays in our communities, and it's for multiple food banks. So tell us a little bit about what the thought process is and how it came about with the Legacy Foundation being a sponsor here.
So a little over a year ago, Becky from Legacy Foundation called Salvation Army and called and asked, hey, what are some of the needs that you guys are having? And one of the big things is our pantry is just always depleting, and since coming out of COVID, well, in COVID as well as coming out of COVID, our numbers have really rised. I mean, like through the roof. Us as well as St. Vincent de Paul and all the pantries that are in this county. I'm pretty sure, all across the nation. But here in Cochise County, our numbers have almost doubled. As well as our community meal has doubled, who we feed Monday through Friday. And just the need is really, really great. And that was even before food stamps all got cut, access got cut, as well as everything in the grocery stores doubled. Some of them have even tripled from what the price was before. So people's incomes haven't gone up. They haven't been receiving more money and more funds, so they're paying their rent, they're paying their bills, and they're not having much left over for food. And so we just want to help wherever we can, and that's where Legacy looked and hired a consultant to go around to all of the food banks and pantries. Well, we don't have any actual food banks in Cochise County. That was the problem, and that was a big part of it. We were looking to get a food bank that would sustain all of us here in Cochise County. However, we were told we won't be able to do that. And so we're partnered with Community Food Bank, which they are fantastic and great, but they cannot provide the same services for Cochise County as they do Pima County, because they don't have enough. And so we pretty much are on our own here. And so that was where we thought, well, let's do, a countywide food drive. And if anything doesn't come out of this, except for the fact that we, as a community and as the food banks, have come in collaborations with each other and are communicating and able to help one another out more than we were in the past, then it's a win-win.
That's right. And so, again, we have stuff on our Facebook. We're going to make sure we have that QR code posted, and that tells you every place that you can drop off food for this amazing event.
Yes, and Becky has put that together. It is phenomenal. It's a QR code, but we also realize that not everybody is QR code friendly, and so there is a website that's on the poster as well that you can just type into the website, and it'll give you each city in Cochise County where the drop-offs are going to be, who our partners are, and where you can drop your food off, or if you are a business and you still, or a church and you still want to be part of this, because there's a long list. We're super blessed on a lot of the people that have already stepped up, but that doesn't mean that you can't step up still.
That's right. We were talking about boxes earlier, so fortunately Grady grabbed our boxes early. So how many have you given out so far?
Well, I think we have like 15 left, and we had 125. And so, but we've also, that's not just Sierra Vista. We had them for the county, so other cities have come and grabbed some for their locations. We're looking to ask on some places here in the community that might have boxes, but we haven't quite done that yet. That'll be done probably today to see if we can get more. The more that we have, the better.
That's right, because the more boxes you have out there, the better opportunity for people to just go ahead and drop stuff in. And I know it's a little bit problematic if you're going to be at a local grocery store and then having to get that item that you purchased extra for this event over to the sheriff's office in Sierra Vista, for example, which is a great place. We have all of our addresses for the sheriff's office donation boxes. So we'll make sure that if you take a little bit of extra time, we do appreciate it, because it is for the good of everybody in Cochise County.
I can tell you that it could be also easy as well. Safeway, Fry's, Walmart are all participating with us. So if you just want to go in and purchase right there in the grocery store, there will be a bin in each one of those locations where you can just buy the groceries and put it in, where you don't have to find another location.
And that's really a good way, again, to contribute and make sure that it's helping everybody. It's not just one organization or another, depending on what your preferences are. It's just going to help all of the food pantries throughout Cochise County.
Absolutely. And we want to give a shout out to Lawley's. Lawley's has loaned us a warehouse, so we're able to store it and we can sort it where it's in a common space and where we can just all go work together, and we're really looking forward to it.
Good.
What's a good example of a what to donate?
Oh, so what to donate? So canned goods, pop canned goods, because our homeless friends don't have can openers. Dried beans, dried pasta, dried potatoes, dried milk. Dollar Tree has the quarter milk cartons that are shelf stable until you open them, and those are really good. Peanut butter and jelly, definitely. Tuna, meats, canned meats, Chef Boyardee, chili, soup, Top Ramen.
Just to name a few, right? That was
just to name a few.
I think you had some good ideas there. That was good. All right, so we thank you for coming and talking to us today. We encourage everybody in Cochise County to donate to one of these boxes. Find out where they are by going to that QR code or the website, and we thank you for coming and talking to us
Thank
today.
you. Thank you for having us.
And Carol, how do they get a hold of us at the Sheriff's Office?
So reach out and touch us at cochise.az.gov/sheriff. Our phone number is 520-432-9500. We have our Facebook at Cochise County Sheriff's Office, Sheriff Mark J. Daniels, and that'll take you to our Instagram, Twitter, all the other things that you can go ahead and take a look at.
First Watch on KWCD Country is brought to you by Sulphur Springs Valley Electric Cooperative.
You've been listening to First Watch with the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Hosted by Cochise County Public Information Officers Carol Kappas and Grady Butler.
Join us again next Friday morning, 7 to 8 a.m.
First Watch.
What you need to know from the Cochise County Sheriff's Office.
Only